Hey everybody, this is Major League Hats here, and I'm going to be doing a different kind of video today. I'm going to do the top 5 worst minor league logos on a hat, and of course this is my opinion. Now the hats that I chose to do this video, they're not in any particular order. Honestly, you could put them in any order from, you could put the 5th in the 1 spot and the 1 in the 5th and so on. So they're not in a particular order. Because when it comes down to it, if I actually had to judge which one would go in the 1 spot, I would solely do it based on major league affiliations. And I don't always like doing that because then, as everybody knows, I am a Giants fan. And so the Dodgers would probably get the worst of the ranking in my videos. And the truth of the matter is that the Dodgers actually do not have bad logos on their minor league teams. I actually love some of the Dodger logos. They are some of my favorite hats to wear because they have the Ogden Raptors, they have the Oklahoma City Dodgers hat that I got the other day with the state on it. And if you haven't seen that video, please go back and watch that video as part of my unboxing. It helped me complete my AAA set. So I'd appreciate it if you go watch that video. And while you're doing that, please go back and subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. So I just don't want to do the list in a particular order in the sense of who's worst and who's best. All I can tell you, in my opinion, these are 5 of the worst logos in minor league baseball. And this is where, with all the changes of teams coming out with different styles hats, or they're pulling something from their local community and they're putting them on their hats. For example, the Staten Island Yankees, they switched it up and put like a pizza route on their hat. The Sacramento River Cats, they put a bridge on their hat. So everybody's doing a different kind of thing. Now some teams did try to do a little bit of a rebranding. For example, like the Tulsa Drillers, they did change their name and they actually put a better logo. But they should look more of a permanent change. I think with the rebranding, it would help them sell more merchandise and get their brand more recognized. But like I said, that's just my opinion. Usually these kind of hats that I'm going to show you here in the video are hats that are last on my list to complete my set. So if there's other hats that I haven't gotten, I will usually get those hats instead of these hats. So that's just the way I do it. And then in some cases, even if they don't have a hat that I need, for example, I'm working on my high A. If they don't have a high A, but they have one of these kind of hats for my high A, I might hold off and actually get one of the newer hats of a team I already have, just because the logo's really neat and I like it a lot better. So it would really help me and probably help hat collectors out there if they look to maybe rebrand it, vamp things up, change it around. Now, one of the teams I'm going to be talking about, they're not talking about rebranding yet. There is going to be some change with that organization / league next year. So we'll see if maybe down the line they do some rebranding and changing their image up a little bit. But as I'm making this video, they have not talked about doing any changes of that nature. They're just talking about keeping the same name and the same logo. But we'll see what happens. A year is a long time away, and then when reality hits and fans start maybe coming back to the games because they got to get used to the new way, the new dynamic, the new system that's going to be in place, then maybe they might start talking about it. And I'm going to be talking about that hat in just a moment, so I'll give you a little more clarity on that. I would like to also take a minute and thank my new subscribers out there. I finally made it up to 20 subscribers, and I'm really excited. I really appreciate that. That just lets me know that people are enjoying my videos and they're liking what I do. Now I know I have a niche market or a niche fan base because not everybody collects hats, not everybody's into minor league baseball, but from my experience, just looking on Twitter and Instagram, there's actually a lot of people out there. They're maybe a little more spread out because, like, where I live, I don't really know anybody that collects hats, especially, you know, or that's really into baseball like I am. I mean, people are always into baseball, like when it comes to their kids, and that's great. My kid plays high school sports, and so I can totally relate to that. But when I was growing up, you played baseball, you watched the professional levels, and then, you know, just as of like probably 5-6 years ago, I really started getting into minor league baseball, especially with the way baseball is going nowadays. Prospects are more noticeable. They air the draft every June on the Major League Network channel, so you get to watch these players get picked from their college or high school teams, and then eventually you hear on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook where they're going to be assigned to. For example, maybe get put in rookie league, low A or high A, and so on. And so you get to know these players, and then you get to follow them through your team system, and so they're more noticeable. So I feel like minor league baseball is starting to get more out there, and it's definitely more enjoyable. I don't know if I mentioned this in the past. I started getting into more minor league baseball because ticket prices for major league games, especially around in my area, are getting up there. And for somebody that only probably gets to go to maybe 2 or 3 Giants games a year, and it's me, my son, my wife, and my youngest son, you're looking at like $500-600, and that's including tickets, that's including food, that's including parking, that's including gas. And I'm not complaining, but because of those kind of factors, that's what got me into minor league baseball. So I could spend about a quarter of that price and go to a minor league baseball game and go to Stockton or Modesto or San Jose, Sacramento, and I'm spending $10 for parking. Sometimes it's even $5, and depending on how early I get there, it's for free. And then the food is about the same price, but even like beer concessions is a little bit lower. That's what really got me into minor league baseball. And then, like I said, I like hats and I enjoy the logos. So, all right. So I just like to thank everybody that's watching my videos. I hope you guys have enjoyed them. So let's get started on the 5 worst minor league logos out there. And these teams should really consider rebranding and possibly changing their name. And yes, I do know it costs a lot of money to rebrand and change their names, but I think these teams would be more beneficial in the long run if they did this. So let's start with number 1. The number 1 hat is the Potomac Nationals. Now, overall, this is a nice hat, but I think this would be a high candidate for change, especially with a lot of teams going away from the Native American names. I'm sure that the Potomac Nationals / Potomac team has a lot to do with the city of Potomac, and so that's kind of why they keep it. But as you see, it's like a stars and stripe, which is kind of a reference to the Nationals, and plus it's where it's located. It's in the Washington area. I actually went there when Bryce Harper was doing his rehab stint, so I actually got to watch him play, so that was really cool. This hat is very basic. I do wear it because I like the navy blue, and then the P, it's subtle. You got like the little American flag there to show your patriotism if you wanted to go that direction. But it's a very nice hat. It's subtle, it's basic. Like I said, there's nothing special about it. And so this would definitely be a team that should be changing their name and changing their branding, because what hats are people getting right now? Well, some of the hats that I've seen, they're related to food. The Whitecaps, they did, since Michigan is considered like the #1 brewery in the United States, from what I read, they did a brewery type hat design. And so I think that's a cool idea. The Staten Island Yankees did the pizza rat. So I'm just saying, I think this would help them, especially if they're getting low attendance or people are kind of just losing their passion for the Nationals. Now, I know they're not losing their passion, because at least with the PNats, as they're called, the Potomac Nationals, they got a lot of great players coming through there because they're related to the Washington Nationals, and this is the high A, so it's a little bit higher than rookie ball in the low A, of course, and then right before the double A. So you're starting to see the players find their skills up a little bit better, so you're watching good baseball. I had a good time there. When I went, it was easy parking. Stadium was pretty basic, but really easy to get autographs, and that's always the best place to get up-and-coming rookies / stars at the minor league games. So the Potomac Nationals should consider rebranding. That's number 1. Number 2 is the Indianapolis Indians. Now you're going, the Indianapolis Indians. Is this the AAA team of the Indians? Actually, this is not. This is actually the AAA team of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Why? I'm not sure. I didn't really look it up. And it kind of really never really dawned on me. All I know is the Cleveland Indians AAA team is the Columbus Clippers. So the AAA team of the Pittsburgh Pirates is the Indianapolis Indians. And for kind of similar reasons that I just talked about on the Potomac Nationals hat and rebranding, this would basically be the same thing. Very basic logo. It is a nice logo. I'm really not sure what its symbol, emblem really is supposed to represent, you know. So I'll check that out and I'll do a new video on that to follow that up, because, you know, I just kind of never really looked at it. See, I get more into the team or more into the hat if I go there and I haven't been to Indianapolis to go to this team's games yet, and so I haven't done a lot of research. But just strictly just on buying the hat, it's a nice hat. Like I say, don't get me wrong, all black, has a nice looking neat logo on it. That's but it doesn't say that it's connected to baseball in any way. I mean, if you saw this hat, would you think this is a baseball hat? I mean, other than knowing that it's a 5950, it's a new era, you got the flag on the back, you got the minor league baseball guy in the back, which obviously is a dead giveaway that it is a baseball hat, but you're almost thinking that like this is some sort of, somebody made this hat to change things up a little bit, but this is like their everyday hat. So this would definitely be a hat that I would definitely do rebranding on. I think the Indianapolis Indians need it, and like I said, they're getting away from all the Native American type names, logos, insignias, and this would be an ideal candidate. So coming in at number 2 that need to rebrand, Indianapolis Indians. Number 3. Now this team, they did try to do a little rebranding. They're part of the Fun Cup series. I didn't get the hat, but if you saw my video, you'll see what I mean. I showed you the logo, what it looks like. And if you haven't seen that video, please go check it out and subscribe to my channel while you're doing it. And then you'll see that they did do rebranding. And the logo they chose to do for the Fun Cup series is actually a lot better than what they currently have. The number 3 hat of the team that should rebrand is the Tulsa Drillers. They haven't done anything to change anything, and that's kind of good in the sense they didn't change their name, but I would like them to do some rebranding, change up their logo. Now the Tulsa Drillers actually were the AA team of the Colorado Rockies just a few years ago, and then when minor league baseball did, you know, changing and relocations and stuff like that a couple years ago, they became the AA team of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So this is now Los Angeles Dodgers AA affiliation. As I said, you got your basic tee. You got like some like little oil dripping out of the tee. The design itself is nicely done. It's got some light blue on the outlining here. It's got the blue and the black on the inside. And then like I said, you got like little piece of oil dripping down the tee. It's a nice hat. It's got a nice blue crown, nice blue bill here. The guy in the back, he's a blue and a black little guy. And it's a nice hat. Like I said, these are nice hats. I like these hats, but they're boring. If you like hats as a conversational piece, I mean, you might get somebody to ask you what hat that is just because they're curious and they've never seen it. It's kind of a dull looking hat, but that's kind of all. That's kind of as far as the conversation is going to get. It's not going to be like. Let me pull this one up from my unboxing the other day. It's not going to be like the Hudson Valley Renegades. I mean, you see a raccoon on there and you're like, oh, what is that? That's pretty cool looking. What team is that? So then you kind of start talking. Then they talk about how they like hats or something, or they go to these games, or they've seen these teams, and it just starts a good conversational piece, and you get to know people and interact with people that way. So that's what I think of a hat when I'm thinking of wearing them. I've been to, you know, a lot of places, and whenever I go somewhere, if I see somebody wearing a kind of different hat and I recognize it, I usually make a comment about the hat. I'm like, hey, that's a good hat. Like a couple weeks ago, I was at the Stockton Ports game, and they were playing the Mariners affiliate team. And so I saw somebody wearing an Everett Aqua Sox hat, but it had the Conquistador logo on it. So it was from the Fun Cup series. And I'm like, nice Conquistador hat. And the guy just kind of looked at me and smiled and said, thanks. So I like the reaction they get because they're like, wow, he knew what hat that was. Oh, my other good story is that I was at my job where I work. I was coming down the driveway because it's a long driveway. It's at a winery. And the male guy of all people was wearing a Lakeland Flying Tigers hat. Yes, a Lakeland Flying Tigers hat. I could not believe it. So I saw the post guy and I'm like, are you wearing a Lakeland Flying Tigers hat? He looked at me like I'm crazy because I knew what it was. And I'm like, yeah, I'm big into hats and I like hats. And I just saw you wearing it. I think that's totally awesome. He's like, dude, nobody's ever knew what the hat that was. They all assume it's like some sort of Detroit Tigers hat. I'm like, nope, it's a Lakeland Flying Tigers. And so, you know, just a guy I've never talked to, all of a sudden you can start talking to based off of a hat. So, anyways, number 4. This, by far, is probably one of the worst and boringest logos. If it wasn't for the good color scheme, if I had to actually rank them, I would put this as number 1. The Northwest Arkansas Naturals. Worst logo in baseball. You're asking who they are? I'll tell you who they are. They are the AA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Like I said, if it wasn't for this nice color scheme, this hat would be a total bust. You got this nice maroon bill. You got the navy blue on the crown, and then they have a nice looking in. I mean, unlike the Tulsa Drillers, there's not even like an oil drop, and I'm pretty sure that they try to. And if you could see, they got some sort of like, I guess there's supposed to be lightning bolts in the middle of the, and right there, if you could see it, it's supposed to be a lightning bolt. I'm guessing that they try to do something off that movie, The Natural. But it's epic fail. I mean, it's boring. This was actually one of the last hats that I got for the AA. Now, I do need one more team for my AA set, and that's the Altoona Curve. The only reason I haven't got it is because they haven't had it on lids. They have this red variation on lids, and I didn't really want to get the red. But eventually, I'll probably just order it from the team website if I have to. But that's the only reason I got this one over that one, is because this one was on lids and the Altoona Curve were not. Otherwise, this probably would have been the last hat I would have gotten of all the AA's, because it is boring. I mean, I do wear it. I've worn it a couple times since I've had it. I've probably have only had it for a couple months. And as I've told people, I try to rotate my hats. There are a couple hats that I wear more than others, and there's some hats that I don't wear at all. Like, I do have an LA Dodgers LA hat, but I will never wear it. I'll rephrase that. I've worn it once when I got it at the Dodger Stadium, but with a few exceptions, I'll probably never wear it again. But like I said, I do like the minor league logos that the Dodgers have, and I'll wear those ones any day of the week, because in my mind, the way minor league baseball is, I don't categorize them strictly as a Dodger team. They could easily switch affiliations in a year, and then there you go. So, the Northwest Arkansas Naturals would probably be number 1 of the team that definitely needs to do some rebranding and re-imaging, because it's a boring hat with a great color scheme. So let's talk about the last hat that should consider rebranding, and there is a high possibility that they might do some rebranding in the future, but as I'm making this video, they have not talked about it, they're just talking about keeping their same logo, they're keeping the same mascot, but they are changing leagues and they're basically redoing everything. What team is that? If you have not heard, in the next year there's going to be a lot of changes in minor league baseball. Now typically there is changes. For whatever reason, minor league baseball and the major league parent clubs, they have short contracts. They can have as little as 2 years to as much as 4 and so on, unless the parent club owns the minor league team. Like the Giants own part of the San Jose Giants, the Cardinals own like the Memphis Redbirds and the Palm Beach Cardinals and Springfield Cardinals, and I believe they own their other team, the Johnson City Cardinals as well. So unless the parent club owns their minor league affiliation, they usually change every 2 to 4 years. They do that a little bit just to get different kind of players in and help, bring in the fan base. But let's get back to what we were talking about. The Colorado Springs Sky Sox. They should really consider rebranding. I think they might do some rebranding. It might take a couple years, but they are going through a lot of changes next year. If you have not heard, first of all, the Colorado Springs Sky Sox are actually the AAA team of the Milwaukee Brewers. And you're going, Milwaukee Brewers? Why Milwaukee? Well, they actually used to be the Rockies AAA team, and then, like I said, a couple years ago, there was a lot of changes again, but it was more like relocation and a merry-go-round type system. Rockies AAA went to Albuquerque, and then the Albuquerque, which was the Dodgers, they went to Oklahoma City. And Oklahoma City, which were the Astros, they went to Fresno. And then the Fresno, which were the Giants, went to Sacramento. And Sacramento, that were the A's, they went to Nashville. And so on. Like I said, it changed every couple years. Sometimes it's hard to keep track. But anyway, so starting next year, the Colorado Springs Sky Sox are actually going to be a rookie ball team. It's a short season rookie ball team. It's going to feature players that are just drafted, and it's usually the first stop for all future major leaguers and professional baseball players alike. They usually start in the short season rookie ball team. So they're going to be declassified from a AAA to a rookie ball team. They said already they're going to keep the Colorado Springs Sky Sox name. They're going to keep their mascot, Sox the Fox. We'll see what happens. They should really consider rebranding. And if you have not heard it already, but also the Las Vegas 51s, they're going to be definitely rebranding, and I think they got one of the better logos in the league. But even next year, they're rebranding as well because they're moving to a new stadium in Las Vegas. The Mets are moving out of Las Vegas because they're currently there, and they're going to Syracuse, and the Syracuse Nationals, I have not heard where they're going because the minor league teams only have a small window of time to negotiate with other parent clubs, other major league clubs, and so that time frame has not come up. So you haven't really heard of any of them moving on. So anyways, so the Colorado Springs Sky Sox are going to be going under a lot of changes, and they should really reconsider rebranding. Oh, I apologize. The team that is actually moving to the Colorado Springs Sky Sox, they're currently located in Helena, Montana. They're actually the Helena Brewers. They're going to be moving from Helena, Montana to Colorado Springs. So it's still gonna, it looks like it's still going to stay the Brewers as far as I know, and that can change. But that's who's coming over to take over the Colorado Springs Sky Sox, and they're going to, take over the stadium and whatnot. So, like I said, I'll try to keep you updated if you're interested in this kind of stuff. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, I do put some things out on Twitter and Instagram, so if you want to follow me there, you can do that at Major League Hats 5950. That's MLHATZ 5950. All right, so in my opinion, these are the 5 worst hats in minor league baseball. They should really consider rebranding and re-imaging their team in order to help out their fan base and get the fan base more excited about the merchandise that the teams are currently selling. So I hope you like this video. I'll try to do more of these videos. I know I did say it'd be hard to get a list of 5 hats that are my favorite. Maybe I'll try to do that. We'll see. Every week my hats change in the sense that some weeks I order more hats, some weeks I order less. So who knows? Maybe I'll get some of the cooler looking hats in. I am waiting on one order still. They have the hat in, but they don't have it the way I want it. And so I told them to keep it until they get it the way I want it, and that could take another 2 to 3 weeks for me to receive that hat. And when I get that hat, I will let you know. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, set your notification. Please, please help me get 5 likes on this video. That is my new goal. I got up to the 20 subscribers, so I love that part, and I appreciate everybody that's helping me out with that. So let's see if we can keep that going, get up to 25 subscribers, get me 5 likes on this video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good weekend. Major League Hats out!